Hey everybody, it's Meanie. I am putting together a weird video today because of a problem I saw on YouTube that I kind of wanted to see if I can help maybe. When you go looking for a racing wheel online, I feel you get no info for the cheap ones. And when someone does give you info on a cheap one, they give you the worst advice in the world. And then when you want to talk to a real person that understands sim racing, they tell you to buy the most expensive thing in the world. And I feel like there's middle ground here, and we can talk about that, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Here's the deal. Even a cheap wheel is a pretty hard cash drop. And if you live in an apartment, as I do, you may not have a tremendous amount of room for a giant rig all over the place. I tried a whole bunch of wheels, and this is the one that was right for me at the time. This is a recommendation for a reasonably priced wheel that I think will work for you. And my wheel stand, which doubles as an apartment workbench because it's an apartment workbench. That's what we're doing today. It's cheap wheel and rig talk. Let's go. Here's what you want from your first wheel, okay? You want force feedback. Any wheel that doesn't have it, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time because the number one feature of feeling that road is feeling that road. You want a wheel that's gonna fight you when you turn like an idiot and you made a mistake and now you gotta fight it back to get yourself on the road. You're gonna want that. So you're gonna want a little rumble pack in your wheel. Then you want a decent level of rotation, and by that I mean not all wheels turn as much and the cheaper ones barely turn. A lot of wheels kind of turn like those old arcade games, like click, click kind of thing, and that's the end of it. What you want is you wanna go, let me grate that across the table, but you want something that can spin the way you would drive a car and you were about to drive into a snowdrift. You want something that is like bang! You want to be able to do that. And that you need a decent level of rotation for. In addition to that, you're gonna need pedals. You can buy a wheel that doesn't have pedals and you can kind of steer with it. I used to have that old U-shaped Microsoft wheel for the 360. Which was fun, and you could, gas, brake here, but it left me wanting a lot more, and that's how I ended up here. And then the last thing that I'm gonna say is optional, but really good to have, is a clutch pedal. If you end up getting even slightly into racing or any kind of sim stuff at all, you're gonna want that pedal. Even if you wanna do Euro Truck Simulator or something like that, you're gonna want that pedal for the clutch because it really helps you out. It really fills out the experience. So you're gonna want that later. Optional, but that's my recommendation. Take it or leave it. I'm using the Thrustmaster TMX. It is from my Xbox One, which is where I primarily play racing games. It works for PC as well, but I pretty much only use it on my Xbox. It works supposedly quite well on PC. But again, what the hell do I know? There's an equivalent version for PlayStation. Do your research. What I'm saying to you today is I'm not being paid here by Thrustmaster. I just happen to like the product. It's got 900 degrees of rotation. It's got, listen to that click, paddle shifters. It has decent, but not the best force feedback, okay? And it's got, this will mean nothing to a normal person, but it's got mixed belt pulley kind of gears system inside. Basically what that means is it's halfway to what a crazy sim fan is super into with their wheel set, okay? It's not the best, but it works. The base model, excuse the noise, no other way to do that, sorry, comes with these two pedals, obviously brake and gas. They're okay. I used them for months. I really did like them a lot. Again, then I felt that I was missing a clutch pedal so that you can shift accurately. So these are cool, very plasticky, but they work. So I like them. They're not anything to scoff at. I really do enjoy them. These are base. Altogether, that's about, I want to say like $200. If you go searching around on Craigslist or something like that, you can probably get them a little less. I upgraded because the cool thing about Thrustmaster, and again, not paid by them, but here's what I think is cool. They have this thing called the Thrustmaster ecosystem where you can buy a wheel and plug in new pedals. You can plug in an actual shifter beyond what this has, which is paddle shifting, which is usually enough, but whatever. You might want the real shifter, so you can buy that real shifter. The other thing that's really cool, and you can see on the other angle that I have here, is this conical brake mod that comes standard with it. So I'm gonna pop it on both cameras. Hopefully you can see that. The conical brake mod kind of gives the brake a little more bite, and it's really, really useful. I like it a lot. It feels a lot more like a real car. And when it comes down to it, that's what you're looking for. If you're racing on a PC, you can easily clamp. So if you're clamping it down on the desk, all you need is the included thing, bing, bang, boom, you're done. You put the pedals under your desk and you're driving, you're good. But if you want something a little bit more involved than that, if you're playing on your TV with your Xbox instead of like playing it directly on a monitor, you're gonna want something to lay it on. And there's options online you can buy. If you go on Amazon or something like that, you'll find a tremendous amount of Wheelstand Pro products which look amazing and fold up tight, and you can put them right in your closet and it's no big deal. But they are like $200 and up, which is about the price of your wheel. Here's what I use, and I found this on a forum recommendation while doing a tremendous amount of research, and I really love it. It's a workbench. You can attach the wheel to it easily, but in addition to having it be a wheel, it's a workbench. So if you need to do something in an apartment, it's pretty useful. I have sawed the hell out of this thing, right? Yeah. So this thing came down significantly further. I would have done a time lapse of myself hacksawing that off, but I was hacksawing without my workbench, which is my wheel stand. So it looked most unbecoming of a man. So I didn't bother. If you have the 2-pedal set, that's not a problem because 1 foot each side, you can do it either way, like you can flip this thing around and then put it this way. It's super easy with that. But when you have 3 pedals, you can't do that, obviously. And you do need to raise this thing all the way up, tighten it in, and now you've got this clearance here. It's not a lot of clearance. I'm gonna show you right now the limited area of clearance that you would get. All right, best I've got. The point is that it worked. So you can even like make this thing sturdier with some weights if you wanted to. That's extra cost, and I don't, because I drive like a dainty fella. But if you're a hard driving fella, you can, I would put some weights down on both sides so it keeps it anchored to the ground. And that's only if you have hand weights available. Otherwise, $30, there's your wheel stand. It makes it a lot more fun to play these games. And if you're into feeling like what driving at 35 miles an hour in a Honda Civic would feel like, that rugged vehicle, it's just more realistic and more fun. Thrustmaster TMX with 3 pedals, $250. Or you could buy the $50 cheaper one that doesn't come with a clutch pedal. Buy the one with a clutch pedal. This thing is a Ridgid workbench. It's about $30. You can find it at Home Depot, link down below. That's basically what I would recommend. It's about $300 total, give or take with tax. That's what you would need to get into sim racing. If there's a chance you're interested in dabbling and there's a chance you might get hooked, you can always upgrade every component of this Thrustmaster set later, piece by piece. So when you want to stop living on your knees like old Meanie here, you can pick up the foldable wheel holder thing from something like Wheelstand Pro, which is way better than what I just recommended, but it's also $200 to start. Overall, this is the best racing kit I can think of for a starter. This is what I wish I would have known when I started out looking for a racing set. So there we go. I hope this video hasn't been 10 hours long. Thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe down below. But I've been Scott Meany. Thank you for watching. I really recommend the TMX.